Welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I'll be covering every studio song the band has recorded and every bonus track that I can find. Each week we'll go over a new song from the beginning to where they are currently, and as they keep adding albums, I'll keep adding shows. Let the deep dive party begin.
In the magic garden, some were singing, some were dancing.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I am your host, Scott Haskin, bringing you this fan-based but band-endorsed podcast covering all of the studio recordings of the band Uriah Heep. And here we are on Song 4 from their newest album, Chaos and Color. And this song is one that I'm really looking forward to getting into, as I am all of them. I think this title is very intriguing. It is called Age of Changes. Track number 4, here we go. This has got a beautiful sound to it right off the bat. Really love the layers of organs. I thought we were going to hear a string pad. The way that layer came in, it sounded like it was going to be a string pad, but then it kind of went away real quick. Then we had the bass notes added, going up the scale. Really nice opening, flows really well. There's so much fire on this album already. You know, this just explodes with sound and power right off the bat. And then I love how it drops down to halftime when Bernie kicks in with the first verse. Really nice vocal layerings on the ahs coming in. And then, just dropping back and giving room for the vocals to start telling the story. And they're so good at that. I've mentioned it so many times on the show, but they really are masters of that. So many bands just... They try to keep the sound going and really just keep pushing things throughout the vocal. And Uriah Heep is known for kind of just, dropping out a little bit, letting the music kind of open up and leave some room for the cream filling, which is the vocals. And delicious cupcake. Let's not forget Dave Rimmer in there. The bass cuts through very nicely on that last section. He's playing a really nice active rhythm to keep the song in motion along with Russell. The toms sound good and bright. I love that last fill right before I stopped it. Good stuff as always. And a nice sound wash too coming in from Mick. I'm not really hearing a lot of specific notes as to what he's playing, but there's just a nice wash coming from the guitar. Really cool. We're only a minute and 46 into this song, which is 5 minutes and 49 seconds. And I already feel like we've experienced so much. Lots of changes in tempo and energy, lots of parts that we've heard already. Really cool stuff. I'm going to be curious to see if there's an organ solo in it since the organ opened the song. And Mick hasn't done a lot of fill-ins on this one just yet. So, I'm hearing a lot of guitar, but it's really just filling in the sound very, very nicely. And it's the keyboards kind of carrying the riff or the melody of it so far, along with the rhythm section. And Mick is filling in the sound, kind of the reverse of what we normally hear, where there's a guitar riff and then the keyboards are coming in and thickening everything up. So it's a nice reversal here. I like it. And I don't know where I was going with that cupcake metaphor earlier, by the way. No clue. That's an interesting drum fill. I feel like we're heading into a tempo change again because that's really feels like it's trying to slow things down a little bit. So I'll be curious to see where we go next. But there was a really nice bass fill in the middle of all that, kind of where normally Mick would put a little guitar filler in there. Got Davey covering this one. Sounded really good. Again, I just love the bass tone on this album. It's not dark and it's not bright. It just sits nicely there in the middle, and you can hear the definition of it, which is really good without it being too bright or too muddy. Just exactly what you want for the style of music with this, really heavy band sound. That's a good almost full minute of soloing between the keyboards and the guitars. I really like the way that they're trading off. So far, I think it's been on every song where we've had like a keyboard and a guitar solo, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to go back and re-listen because, I've only heard these once. But a lot of reversal in the song. I like that Mick took the first solo. I kind of expected it was going to be keyboard, but then the keyboard solo had a nice throwback to the opening of the song in there a little bit. And then I just like the fire that these guys are playing with on such an energetic piece. The other thing that I've noticed is, thinking in terms of, I guess it would be more pop rock really than this kind of more aggressive style, which I guess you'd categorize this as metal, but to me, it's all rock and roll. I think we get a little too specific sometimes, but is that there's so much going on in the rhythm and the melody behind the solos. Like a lot of bands will just keep it to, a note or two, and it'll just be like during the solo, and just really kind of keep that simple. But if you listen to what's going on behind the solo section, and it's been like this for the whole album, there's so much more going on than just a simple bed to leave room for the solos. And I really like that. There's a lot of stuff that you hear if you kind of separate yourself from the solo and focus on what the rest of the band is doing during that section. Really cool stuff. I love that they don't just make it simple. They put everything into these songs.
This love is never forgotten. At least we had that time together. I
Oh, what a great ending. For one, I like that it wasn't just a dead stop. We need to have a little bit of variety in the stops, and I like that they extended this one a little bit. Really cool effect from the guitar too. I'm not exactly sure how that was achieved. It sounds to me like Mick had a short in his cord and he was wiggling it so that it would short out and come back in. Or maybe he was plugging it and unplugging it, like just the edge of the cable so that it would make contact. I'm not sure exactly how that's done, but it sounded something similar to that. I love that amp crackle sound of the connection of the cord. And also the tones that were coming in over the organ towards the end. It almost sounded like there was a voice in there. I don't think there was, but it almost sounded like that. I love the oscillation of a Hammond organ. It just sounds so fantastic. And they got such a good recording, really getting the depth of that sound and bringing it out. Absolutely fantastic. Just masterful work on all ends. I mean, the writing, the performance, the recording, the mixing, all of it, because every bit of it, and especially the mastering too, because that's where you widen some of the sounds and really bring about the depth of the mix. So it's really, it takes every single component to fire to come out. But this is a great song. It didn't feel like it was almost 6 minutes. It felt like it went by a lot faster. It had a lot of energy, a lot of changes, back to regular tempo, then halftime, regular tempo, great energy over the solo sections. I liked that there was another solo towards the end. Really cool stuff. Really moved. And yeah, another great song on this album. I'm very, very happy with what I'm hearing, I have to say. I mean, I try not to be biased because I love the band and, the guys are great and they've been really kind to me and everything. I try to really just separate all of that and just listen to the music and talk about what I hear. But when everything you're hearing is pleasant and enjoyable, it's hard not to, I mean, the only things that I said, I think there were some tones that I couldn't really hear. And I thought we were missing a little bit in the mix on a couple of parts, but I mean, other than that, it's been a fantastic album so far. I mean, we're only 4 songs in, but so far, 4 home runs. So yeah, I also wanted to make sure that I mentioned, I can't remember if I mentioned this in an earlier episode or not, but it wouldn't hurt to mention it again. BMG did release the single picture disc of Sweet Freedom. If you want to get that, you can go to uriah-heep.com, go to the store, and it's available there. They have also, and that was from the Everyday Rocks box set, they've also gone past that, past what was initially included, those first 7 albums, and they have released Return to Fantasy as a standalone picture disc as well. And you can also pick it up there. May also be available on your local record shop. So check around, That's not something that you can download because picture discs are not downloadable. You can purchase it over the internet and have them ship it to you, but you can't download a picture disc. It just doesn't work that way. I wonder though, future speculation here. Well, the speculation is now about the future. I wouldn't doubt if one day 3D printers will be able to print working picture discs. I don't think we're that far away from that. I don't know what the quality of them would be. It might take a while to perfect the quality of the audio, but I wouldn't doubt that one day we will have printable picture discs. So you heard that here first. I'm saying it January 29th, 2023. It's 2 p.m. Pacific. That's when I'm recording this. So I said it here. If that ever happens, you can contact me and go, Scott, you were right. I just printed my first picture disc. And maybe it'll be Uriah Heep. Who knows? In any case, they're great. I can tell you the quality of them. I have the Everyday Rocks box set. I've never seen such quality, thick picture discs. They were not like this back in the day. These are really, really sturdy. Just absolutely fantastic graphics produced on them as well. Really great stuff. Very, very worth the investment. And honestly, I don't think they're priced bad. With looking at what pricing is of vinyl these days and seeing the quality of these things, I think they're at a really, really good, comfortable price point. So check them out, uriah-heep.com. Go to the store and you will see them along with all the, t-shirts and different things that you can get. I have some of the t-shirts. I have the Uriah Heep hoodie. I can tell you this is the best hoodie I have ever had in my life. I have not worn my winter jacket all winter, and it has been damn cold here, but this hoodie has kept me warm enough to where I really haven't had to put on my winter jacket, even with our temperatures as low as they are. A lot of people across the world would look at our temperatures and laugh because they don't look that bad. But when you're acclimated to the summers that we have here, winters are very, very cold for us because we're hot summer people. And so the winters chill us to the bone, where you guys might be walking around in shorts and t-shirts. We are bundled up in blankets. So I can say that just, gives bigger props to how cool this hoodie is. And, it's got the nice Uriah Heep logo over the heart. And then, of course, on the back, really good quality stuff. And they've got a bunch of other stuff on there. Check that out, all at uriah-heep.net, I think it is. Let me just double check that right now, because I think it is .net. I always want to say .com because that's just such a common thing to say. But actually, it could be both. Heep. Oh, it is not net. It is... You think I'd know. I mean, I've only been doing this show for 3 damn years. It is uriah-heep.com. It comes up, of course, to, the celebrating 50 pages or 50 years of Uriah Heep page, and has a link to Mick's site as well. But you've got the cast and color, obviously, as the front. But if you go up to official Uriah Heep store, you can find all the cool stuff there. Then they also have the tour store, which has all the gear. But you can find the sets. You can also find the Choices box set and the Everyday Rocks box set, the ones that are still available. Those are done by size. I can tell you that the the 3XL shirts size is sold out, and some of the other ones are still available. So check those out. Very high quality. All the shirts, the calendar, everything is super cool. And then the Everyday Rocks. So that's the Everyday Rocks box set. And then the Choices CD is 42 with the art cards and the 6 CDs from different band members, past and present. So it's a really nice set. And then, like I said, if you go to the official tour store, that is where you will find all the merchandise, like the T-shirts, the pens, coffee mugs, all that kind of stuff, buttons. It's a really, really cool thing. So check that all out. Dave White does such an amazing job with the website. Go check it out and appreciate all that he's put into it, because there is tons and tons and tons of stuff there, and it's growing to this day. So anyway, a little bit longer of an episode. Really cool song. I'm digging this album so much. I was excited when I heard that they were getting back together in the studio to do another album. I know that Mick and Phil had been writing it for a while, long distance. So it was a different process for them than being able to have that creative energy in the same room. But obviously, this process worked as well as it did on Living the Dream when they were writing and recording the normal way. So absolutely fantastic so far. 4 songs in, 4 home runs. Loving it. I hope you guys are too. In the meantime, come back. We will have another episode covering song number 5. Cheers. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. If you have enjoyed this show, please consider going over to Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast outlet, leaving a rating or a review. Be sure to subscribe to make sure that you are notified when new episodes are available. Please be sure to share this podcast with your fellow Uriah Heep enthusiasts and anyone who you think would like Uriah Heep, which should be everyone. And if you are so inclined, please feel free to contribute to the Patreon account. And if you are not a Patreon subscriber, you can also pay through the PayPal link on the website listed in the show links below. I would also like to thank Uriah Heep for their very generous support of the show, and thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Happy days!